I said to a colleague at work, without all the guys on the skill list, if I was going to send my video to one of you, it'd probably be yourself as well. Because I'm impressed with some of the players I see come out of your stable, if you want to call it that. It's yeah, great to watch.
It's fun. I mean, I'm fortunate. The kids that seek me out are extremely motivated, right? So it's really it's not as tough as a job to make them do good stuff if they really are interested in doing it.
Yeah, sure. Do you teach most of the Danish squad by the looks of it, or?
No, no, I teach a lot of players before they get into the squads,
Yeah,
and then some of them stick around after they get selected. And some of them say, "Hey, thanks for the help," and then they decide to go to the national coaches, and that's
yeah,
both things are good by me. So it's like I don't know, 3 boys in the boys team, only 1 girl in the girls team. I don't teach that many girls. 4, I think, in the men's team
yeah,
now, and then a couple in the pro team. But it's kind of like in and out. And then like usually when they go to America, they don't get selected to the national team because they're at home. And I've got like
yeah.
14 or 15 players now that are in the States.
Okay.
So it's just kind of part of the progression, I guess. But it's like it's usually a lot of the kids that start with at our place get selected at some point.
Yeah. And there's probably not really, I'm sure you don't have a method, and there's not really a fashionable swing in golf. But if there was, it'd probably be some of the swings that come out from your guys. It's all very, you don't see many people across the line. It's all really neat and tidy, same sort of tilt, same sort of turns. They've got that same type of exit on the way through. Was that something that it just happens, or have you got certain characteristics you look for in a swing?
No, I'd say there's a couple of things, right? Like you got to have most of your weight on your front foot when you hit the ball. You got to have some shaft lean. I think swinging fairly straight into the golf ball or having a fairly straight swing direction makes it easier.
Fine.
It always seems as if you're swinging too far to the right, you're usually a pretty good driver, but then you probably have trouble with shorter clubs, and it's usually the other way around. If you swing pretty far to the left, you're probably pretty good with shorter clubs, and you have a tough time with with drivers and stuff. It just seems to me. So it's just easy. I mean, you can basically, if you swing fairly straight, you can build in any ball flight you like just from setup, from ball location, handle location, where you point the club face. Really, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
fair
it's
enough.
just, I don't know. It's just. I think it becomes fairly easy if the players, if they're away from me, if they're in the States, or if they are out at tournaments and stuff, and the ball's not going where it should. It's fairly easy to, like, if you look from down the line, if the club enters and exits pretty much in the same spot. If you look from face on, upper center is not tilting back, lower center is forward, got whatever amount of shaft lean, then it's more than likely that it's alignment stuff. It's because they didn't aim where they should, or handles too far back or forward at setup, or too far up or down, or the club face is too open or too closed. I mean, it shouldn't be like oh shit, I've lost my swing.
Yeah, sure. Especially at that level.
It's just stuff that's kind of built in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you should just kind of, like, it's not drawing. Okay, like make sure the ball's, I don't know, not too far forward. Make sure the handle's not too far back. Make sure the club face isn't too open.
So you'd like to
Like it
keep things
shouldn't be
fairly
like
neutral.
what?
So you'd like to keep things very neutral with that club path in particular, and then any shape is all around setup for you.
Yeah, I would say so. And then it's just basically a matter of the angle of attack, controlling the path. Like if you're swinging straight and you're hitting up on a driver, then you're probably going to be swinging. The path is going to be negative, and if the ball's on the ground and you're swinging straight, you're hitting down on the ball, the path is going to be positive.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to hit a slight draw with your irons, and you're probably going to hit a slight fade with your driver if your angle of attack's up with the driver.
Yeah.
And it's not like, and again, then it just like that just makes it, for me, it just makes it fairly easy. They can play well for a long stretch if those things are in order.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that that's what they have to do, because I have plenty of players who just hate hate seeing a ball go like end up left of target. They'd rather push it all day than just one that just overcurves the flag by a yard. I mean, they'll probably play the ball a little bit further back, have a little bit more open club face, just to make sure that it never overdraws. And then you have a bunch of guys who just hate seeing the ball start right at target. Like they want to pull it all day. I mean, shit, they'll probably more than likely they'll play the ball a little bit more forward. They'll play the handle a little bit more back. Their exit's probably going to be a little bit lower than their entrance, just to make sure it doesn't do that. I mean, so it's not like it's strict. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So more around.
I'm not gonna force my. I mean, shit, I'd prefer just the booming high push draw all day, if I'm being honest. But I mean, I'm not gonna just put that preference onto the players.
Cool. So one follow-up question that myself and a colleague always interested in, because the swings do look so neat and tidy. Where do you feel your players get the speed from? Because I'd love to see some of your speed numbers. Will the guys look like they're just tapping it, but you know it's going to be, high 97 irons or mid 97 irons, and really
they can go pretty hard.
Because I can't get there.
No, I mean, first of all, they're pretty big. Like a lot of
all athletes. All your guys are athletes.
Yeah, they're pretty big. They also, I mean, we just started off season, right? I've got the number 1 junior in Denmark and the number 1 men's player in Denmark. They are practicing 35 to 40 hours a week. They are eating between 4,500 and 5,000 calories a day.
Who's number 1?
They have a guy named Frederik Birkelund won the men's ranking. And then a guy named Sebastian Friedrichsen,
he pops up a lot.
He's been best junior in Denmark for a couple of years now. Won the European Young Masters when he was 16. Was part of the team with the Højgaard twins that won the Toyota Junior World Championships. He's just an amazing player. But I'm saying they work out 6 times a week now for an hour and a half, on top of their 35 to 40 hours of practice, and on top of the 4,500 to 5,000 calories they eat a day. And then they have driving competitions at least every day. They do speed stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, so they will end up hitting the ball pretty hard. They're probably right now they're both maxing out at like 122 and 126 miles per hour,
right,
and ball speeds that are between 184 and 188. And they're going to be higher, like when we come to April.
Yeah. That's winter.
But that's not like a smooth swing. That's like long drive golf swings, right?
Yeah,
so we still use the principles that you'd use to hit the ball really far. We just kind of settle it down when they're actually going to play golf.
In comps, yeah.
So it's, I mean, I don't know if that's an answer or not, but they can go pretty freaking hard, a lot of them, if they want to. But also, like, I mean, if I'm posting swings, usually, I mean, they're practicing something. That doesn't mean they're not going. Then that means that they're not going as hard as they can.
Awesome.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The speed thing's interesting, especially over the winter, and what Brighton's done for the game as well. So everyone's going to try and, which they need to. Your kids, like you say, 120 plus. It's going to be at least that when they're sort of competing at the next level.
Yeah, but it's still, and I think that's the thing, right? I think that's the big difference between. And I don't know if I might be wrong, right? But I think, like, if you're going on like a spectrum of most precise and fastest, I'm probably more on the precision spectrum than most guys that are on Instagram.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's a huge responsibility to be able to hit a driver. I mean, if you hit one ball OB around, you lose 2 strokes all of a sudden. I mean, if Dustin Johnson did that, he'd be one of the worst drivers on tour.
Yeah.
If he just hit one bad one around.
Yeah.
Like really bad one. So if you're gonna hit it that hard, you better be freaking precise. I think there's actually an argument to be made that Dustin and McIlroy and those guys might be the most precise drivers in the world.
Well, they are.
If you took 100 yards off, their dispersion is exactly right. Like if you took 100 yards off their driver, they would never miss a fairway ever.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Like their dispersion would be so small, it'd be stupid. They'd be straighter than LPGA Tour players.
Yeah.
I think that's why they're incredible, because I think there's plenty of players that can produce the same amount of speed who then will just watch long driving. There's a reason why long drivers are not playing on the tour.
Well, they're going to get one ball in 10 on the sort of big fairway, so different sport. But yeah,
There's a reason why my 105 club speed, I would still beat Carl Berkshire's ass if we went and played.
I agree. Yeah,
I can actually confidently say that I would beat his ass, because we played at the same university, and I was the number 1 or 2 guy, and he came 10 years afterwards, and he didn't qualify for a single tournament in 2 years.
right.
At the same school, okay, and he can go 155 or something. I can go
That's silly
105.
numbers. Yeah.
So if it was all about hitting far, then I mean, I wouldn't beat him.